Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 70 of the Focus on Gaming podcast. I am Martin. We've got all three of us today.
Good evening.
Yay!
Special occasion.
I think it's the first time. Yeah, there's been all three for quite a while.
It's only because Martin can't afford the Chinese tonight. He's at one last week.
The week before payday, so
yeah,
that's nothing else to do. So.
Next week he's not coming. He's having an Indian.
Actually, I had an Indian last week, so probably a Chinese.
Oh, so it'll be a Chinese next time. I've got so many jokes, but they're probably all racist, so I won't say them. Well, I did promise.
We'll do that the after hour. After midnight hour.
Oh, if we do we don't have enough material for an extra Focus on Gaming podcast. Focus on Gaming late hour. No, we don't have enough material. But I did promise, for those that did hear it, there was a pre-episode 70 episode, because we didn't manage to do one last week. We were all busy or not available for that particular night of recording. So
my kid was being a cow.
Just to clarify, his kid is 15 months.
Yeah, and not a cow or a goat, but yeah, so.
Being a bit awkward.
Yeah,
and I was eaten, so apologies.
Whereas mine has long since gone past that. But regarding that, you're both parents, and I'm a parent, so it's the dad episode. Yay! We're going to celebrate being dads.
We are 70 episodes in. Come on now, let's celebrate that.
I think we have mentioned about kids' games before. I think before you came on board. We might have done it as part of another episode, but we'd never dedicate the whole episode to it. But yeah, I mean, it's coming up to Christmas, isn't it? So gaming for Christmas. It's, well, let's face it, we try and make it out to be for the kids, but it's more for us, really, if we're buying gaming stuff, isn't it? Yes, my kid does need a PS5 Pro.
Well, I told you, I'm waiting for my son's Steam Deck. I'm waiting for him to get bored.
Well, this is the thing. Do kids get bored of these things? And at your age, your two boys, Martin has three quite young children, quite young range. I have a young one, 6 and 4, and then a teenager, 14. And Tom, you span all the ages. You've got a very little one and
two teenagers.
Not so little ones, yeah.
13 and 14. And then
without giving away, just in case the teenagers do happen to listen, any gaming purchases, Tom, this year?
No. No, definitely not.
Well, there you go. End of episode. Join us on episode 71.
No, I think we're definitely going to bypass the PlayStation Pro, and I think they are going to probably want a Switch 2 next year. So I think we're going to hold out for that one.
Strategic waiting.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one.
They are very much into their Quest 3 at the moment. Quest 3? Quest 2? What is it?
Quest 3 is the latest
Quest 3. Yeah, they are very much playing that constantly. One wants Batman on it and the other one wants the new Alien game on it. So, yeah, that might be a thing.
So, Tom, how old, Martin, how old's your oldest?
6.
So, is there anything gaming on the horizon for yours this Christmas? Is that going to be a no as well?
That's going to be a no.
No.
So she's just never. I haven't really tried. I mean, I have put her on some games, but it just haven't really. She's just not.
Does it come across? Come up to the other half wall, or has she just not shown any interest whatsoever?
I guess if I tried, she would probably. But when I have, she just really struggled with the. So I tried her with like Mario games, and she just struggled with like moving him about, and I lost. I say I lost patience, but I was like,
it is easy
painful to watch. So I was like,
Just get off.
Classic me.
Just give it here. I'll do it. I've done that.
The
What
thing she
are
enjoyed
you
though,
doing?
on the Wii U when she was creating the Mii characters? That was, and you could take a picture of yourself and it would put like a Mii version of you up there. So that's what she. But that got again tiresome, or a bit boring for me after a few goes. So I was like, yeah, that's just.
It is difficult, isn't it? As a parent, I mean, I know that when they're tiny little baby, we get a lot of this on the gaming dads group. People saying, "Oh, how I'm about to have a baby. How do you fit gaming in?" And it's like, quite easily, really. When they're babies, they just sit there.
Yeah.
And even if you're the one that's looking after them at that very moment, put them in a sling, put them in a bouncer, hold them, whatever. You'll have 2 hands free. Play with it. Yeah, if you're playing keyboard and mouse, you've got to have a sling or whatever.
I was going to say, Duncan, that's not parenting at all.
It's not parenting, but if they're asleep, generally,
That's different.
Yeah, but even if they're
sitting there
crying,
screaming, yes.
even if they're crying, just leave them for a bit so you can finish your level, and that'll be fine.
If
As
they're
long as
crying-
you're on your own, no one would know, would they? And then when you know the mum
Social
comes
services.
Well, yeah, I mean, all you got to do is put a bit more brandy in the bottle, haven't you?
Yeah. What about you, Duncan? Any purchases on the horizon?
Well, I'm going to say no as well. See, in the last few months, I bought a mouse and keyboard pad for the PC, and we got lots of things. I bought a new TV for the house, so we might be having an old 1080p TV as an extra screen here, because my second screen on the desktop is a 720p TV. It's not a monitor, so it's only good as I don't know if you know, PCs generally don't use TVs because their latency isn't great. So no, I don't think I am. But last year I bought, for my son's birthday's in February, I brought him, as you know, an Anbernic RG35XXH. Nice rolling off the tongue name. And that's, for me, he's 6 years old, and I don't know about your kids, but when they're 6, they couldn't care less about how shiny the graphics are. Are yours the same, Tom?
Mine.
They were that age.
They were playing iPads at that point, and the Wii, the original Wii.
Yeah, so probably mobile games.
Yeah, I think now they're very much about Minecraft still, and Fortnite and Roblox.
Again, you're definitely not a graphics connoisseur if you're thinking playing Roblox, are you?
They haven't moved on yet. I mean, I said to my son recently with his Steam Deck, I said, do you want to buy some of the other games? Look into some new stuff. And he's got a couple of things, but he just doesn't touch them. He's just zero interest. It's I almost find it a little bit strange.
I think with children, it's just what their friends play a lot of the time, isn't it? So if their friends are playing Fortnite or Minecraft or I don't know,
absolutely.
Roblox, was it Roblox or whatever?
Roblox, yeah.
That is one game I don't get at all.
Well, the thing with Roblox is it's any game you want. You can have a Call of Duty clone on there if you want, with very poor graphics.
It's just so naff, though, isn't it? I mean,
it is like a very basic Lego game maker.
It's like one of those really crap games you used to get on the front of magazines.
And it is in the papers and the news a lot because of dodgy people on there. But again, it's the same as a lot of these things. If you sit there with parental controls and put your kids under parental controls, all these games can be 90% safe. Then again, if you've got a 6-year-old, why are they playing online?
There is that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. When they get to a teenager, you can't stop them playing online. It's just my teenage stepson. He's just constantly just everything's got to be online. And again, doesn't care about graphics. Plays Minecraft. Plays what's the other game he plays? But anyway, he plays MetQuest 2 and stuff like that. So they're really not bothered about power. So you don't need to spend a lot for your kids.
No.
So those people who are thinking, oh, I've got to buy this, I've got to buy separate this and buy sparkling new computer, when computers are £1,000 or something, you just get something cheap. Little Ambonic handheld or a second-hand PlayStation Vita or something that plays Game Boy games. And your average 4, 5, 6-year-old will love it.
Yeah,
They'll
I
absolutely
agree.
love it.
Even the Wii U. I mean, you could
Yeah.
get them a Wii U for like 60 quid and they'd eat up the game. They'd absolutely love it. So,
And if you're technically minded, these things, you can hack them if you want. So it's cheap, it's easy, it's the kids love it. My son, what did we play recently? A World for Keflings on the an old Xbox 360 game. I think I got it free with gold many years ago. And he sat there for about 6 hours over a few days playing it. And it's the most basic sort of city builder, cartoony kind of game you can imagine. And he loved it, absolutely loved it. Yeah, obviously he's 6. If I put City Skylines in front of him, he'll get bored within about 10 minutes because it's too complicated. So personally, yeah, I'm very much you don't need to spend a lot of money on your kids. If you feel the need to spend £2,000, $2,000 on a PC for a 7-year-old, yeah, just don't bother.
I think 2025 is going to be the year of gaming. I don't think 24 was the year of gaming at all. I think 25 you've got to switch to. Obviously, the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to come into its own.
It's already been discounted, apparently. Only by something like $50 or £30 or something like that. But still, a couple of weeks after coming out.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new VR headsets coming out next year.
So, what classic games would you say there are that would you recommend for somebody that's going to buy a game for their child or their grandkids?
Mario Kart, all the way.
Mario Kart. Well, it's Nintendo. Nintendo is the king of kids games, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you just can't go wrong, can you? I mean, Martin will probably agree with me on this. We both love our Wii U's, and I mean, every single game is something your kids can play. I can't think of anything that Nintendo publishes that isn't kid friendly, family friendly. Even some of the small download games are just wonderful.
But then again, if you go old school Mario, those are bloody hard games.
Yeah, Super Mario World.
Super Mario, 1, 2, and 3. Super Mario World, all those, all the 2D ones. Super Mario Wonder is the new breed, which you can complete that game, and the levels do get hard, but to 100% it is where the real difficulty comes in. But even so, my son now, he possibly could do half of the levels, no problem. But the other half, he'd probably get bored because they're just too hard for him.
Yeah.
So Mario, I'd just say, that's just be careful. If any parent is thinking of getting that, is that they're bloody hard games, especially if you go for retro console.
Maybe Manhunt.
Well, you did get that on.
I'm joking.
Was it N64 that was on, or
no, PlayStation 2?
Oh, I'm sure they was it Manhunt brought onto one of the Nintendo consoles. I don't know.
It was PlayStation 2, Xbox era, so it might have been on the.
I've got to find out now. It was reception. No, it doesn't actually say on that page. Rabbit Hunt video game is released for PlayStation 2. Windows, Xbox. Yep, no, it wasn't. No Nintendo, which isn't surprising because they've only just started letting adult things go on there since the Switch became popular.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto on the Switch.
Can you? The trilogy is,
not
can't you?
Grand Theft Auto 5, but Grand Theft
Yeah,
Auto
but you get
down version.
1, 2, and 3. My son has played Grand Theft Auto 5, but only a race. I loaded up a race for him and said, "Here you go. You can play Grand Theft Auto 5 if you want." My wife was not very happy. She was like, "Oh, what if he goes into school and says that he's played Grand Theft Auto 5?" But then I will explain that he's just done a race and that's it.
My kids, I won't let them.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let him anywhere near the single player or even online where you're not having story because you still bump. Even the NPCs swear like a trooper at the character. So no, I just did one little race. But if you think about the retro console, I say about buying the retro consoles, but all the old platformers, your Sonic Hedgehog. You go on
really difficult, though, aren't they? You can think Crash Bandicoot. That's really difficult.
The Disney games on the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo.
Yeah, they were difficult.
They were.
I remember playing Lion King on the Sega.
That was hard.
And, that was.
Get off the first level if you can.
Even Aladdin.
Mm.
The level where the wildebeest, and you've got to dodge the wildebeest.
Oh dear.
That's a good level.
I never played it as a kid. I think I've had a go, and even as an adult, it's like this is hard.
I had PTSD as a child.
It's on the Switch, isn't it? They did several Disney collections, and one of them had Lion King in it.
Yes, and you got the DuckTales game as well.
DuckTales and Aladdin and things like that. I mean, Aladdin as a game on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo version were hard. But
nowadays, though, you do have with all the retro emulation, there is save states, so you can literally get to a save place in the level and save. It will load exactly. So instead of having to, one particularly difficult bit that you have to go through half the level to complete, you can just save it 3 seconds before you attempt it. So, failed it, load, failed it, load, failed it, load, failed it, load. Completed it, excellent, save it. Hence why I think I said it a few episodes back about Super Mario Land when I got it in the 80s. It took me weeks to complete it, weeks and weeks and weeks. And yet I got it on my Steam Deck and I think I finished it in about an hour and a half. So
I have an issue with this rewind feature because I think it falls into this whole mamby-pamby society where no one's a loser. And I can't be doing with that. So feature people.
Yeah, well,
there are
plenty
of games that aren't you could play. You could get them on a From Software game, didn't you?
Oh, no thanks. No thanks.
You didn't want your kid to be...
Yeah. Well, would you let your kid play anything from Software at 6 years old? Here, our daughter.
Difficult. She struggled with Super Mario 64, so I doubt she'll do very well trying to take on a boss from Elden Ring.
Do you know, I've never played Super Mario Wonder. Never played it.
It is fantastic, especially, I mean, it starts off, one of the first few levels is that musical one, and it's just brilliant. And it is a fantastic game. Highly recommend it. But some of the levels, it gives you a star difficulty, and yes, the ones that are 6 stars are worthy of the 6 stars. They're optional. You don't have to complete a lot of them. You just have to get a certain amount of stars in each world to continue. So
what games did you play as a child then? I know
I'm going back to the Sinclair Spectrum 48K. So I was Danny Thompson's Decathlon. I had a game called Renegade. which was
Would
basically.
any of these games be playable now to children, or are they just too far?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't really want to emulate a Spectrum. The playing with the rubber keys was great at its time, but yeah, no, there's much better track and field games for Danny Thompson's Decathlon, although that was fantastic. Get a retro console and get track and field. Yeah, so you can.
What do we think the most acceptable machine is for kids to play? So, going back, where would you say the line is for kids playing it and be accepting of the graphics and the control mechanisms?
I reckon you could go back to like PlayStation, Nintendo.
Yes,
64.
I think 16-bit. I think 16-bit.
Yeah. I guess you could go back a generation. Game Boy Color, I reckon, or Game Boy.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like Pokemon games. I think. Because Pokemon's still popular now, and.
Yeah, my boy loves the Pokemon games, but again, he hasn't got the staying power of, I think, me when I was younger. I would sit and play a repetitive game that was, Manic Miner. I saw the first screen of Manic Miner thousands of times. Whereas my boy has a little wander around one of the towns in Pokemon, and there's like, I'm just going to go back to Sonic.
They definitely made Pokemon games a lot easy, because the last one I played was Pokemon Shield, which was on the Switch. But comparing that to Red, Blue, and Yellow, the original ones, I remember playing them. There was stuff you had to work out. So if you didn't have flash, you were going in a tunnel and it's pitch black. If you didn't get the certain moves or whatever, you couldn't go to certain places, and you had to. Whereas the Shield one, they literally hold your hand through the whole game. So you've got this really annoying who's meant to be your best friend, but I just hated him in the end. But he would always tell me what to do, and I thought, I just want to work out myself. Why didn't you?
Yeah, games do hold your hand, and I've said many times in this podcast that I like that nowadays. I don't like it in your face, sort of. No, you've got to, forcing me. I like an open world where it goes head that way. But do whatever you want, but head that way eventually. But yeah, something that goes, you've got to head that way. No, you're not allowed to go over there. You've got to go this way.
And they also, sorry, to bring it back to Poke, they also changed it. Whereas on the Red, Blue, and Yellow, the main sort of bit of a character was your rival, and he would be quite rude to you, like say stink you later and stuff like that, and just not another very nice person, and he would take the mick out of you. Whereas the new ones, your rival's like your best friend, so he's just always really nice to you. Like, oh, you're doing a really great job. And I'm like, I prefer.
Is that where you stand? You sit there going, "Oh, fuck off."
Yeah, I haven't played any of the. I've only played Game Boy and that sort of era of Pokemon games, really. Although I tried Pokemon Sleep recently, and I don't get what that's doing. It's not reading my stats properly, but that's not a proper Pokemon game. But my 6-year-old, he started playing when he was 5, and he started playing Pokemon, and I was like, oh yeah, you're having a little run around the town, excellent. So then once you're out of the town, or you can go to this town and get more Pokemon. And he was sat there for about an hour. Playing, and I was like, oh, brilliant. So where have you got to? I'm still in the town. And all he'd done was walk around the town and talk to people. And I was like, aren't the people saying the same thing? Yeah. But he was quite happy to just walk around, talk to this person here, walk over the other side of the town, talk to that person, walk back to the first person, just check if then walk to another person. And he just walked around and chatted to people. And I think he ventured out of the town, had one battle, and went back in the town, and that was it. And so I think eventually, after probably about 2 or 3 hours, he did venture outside of the town. But he was happy with that. That was perfectly fine for him. I don't know whether he's a bit weird for a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old. But yeah. People you don't have to pay that much
Though I'd say for older children, so if you're getting in the teens, I think you probably, I don't know how they would get on with a Sega Mega Drive game.
Yeah,
No,
I think they're more the 3D. They're more dexterous, aren't they? So whether it's controller or mouse and keyboard, they definitely like the 3D controls and environments. But again, still, they although Fortnite is quite good in graphics, they're quite happy with Roblox. They're quite happy with Minecraft. They're not all about the frames per second and how many polygons and whether it's got ray tracing and all that kind of thing. So yeah.
I think you still need to go for the big machines though when you get to teenagers because they've got to keep up with their mates.
Yeah.
So and the difficulties now is so many people are on different things. It's like, you got to have an Xbox or a Game Pass, and then you got to have a PlayStation 5 or whatever.
And then you've got to pay for PlayStation Plus and Game Pass and
just a lot.
It is a lot, and that's the thing. That's why you've got to be careful. If money isn't, if you're not particularly well off, you do have to be careful because if you buy a PlayStation, Pro and blow all your money, you then have got to pay for PS Plus, and even if you get the core one, which is I want to say about £50 a year, something like that.
Not sure.
Something like that, but full price it's £50. Let's say £50 a year. You've got to do that because otherwise they can't play a lot of games with their friends. I think all the consoles allow the free to play games without Game Pass or Plus now. I think, don't they?
Yeah, Fortnite you can play without the membership.
Yeah. But if you want to play anything else, if you want to play your Call of Duties, if you want to play any online game, you have to have Plus. So it can get expensive. But again, do you go for unless you're rich, do you go for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation Pro? But then the worst thing is if you buy your kid a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox and they go, oh, all my friends are on this. That'd be just the worst nightmare, wouldn't it?
There are like, you get them a PS5 Pro and all they play is like Fortnite. And you don't waste the machine. But I think, with teenagers, more to do with what does my friends have? I've got to keep up with them. They're probably not thinking I could probably get the same performance on a PS4. They don't really care about that. They just want a PS5 because their friends have a PS5, even if they're playing a game that doesn't really need a PS5 graphics. I don't know. Is Fortnite cross-platform? They play.
Yeah, I think so. You log in with your Epic account. So
even Android and iOS can play against PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah. And Minecraft as well. Minecraft is. I don't know about Roblox. Probably. I would guess it is.
It is, yeah. I've begrudgingly played it.
Another game, if people do want a modern game, a game that I played recently with my little boy was Plucky Squire. And not only has it got some great puzzles, it's got a great kid-friendly story and all this, but even the quite complex puzzles, it has a skip option. So you can skip all the really hard mini games and puzzles. And if you don't want to skip, there's a little character that gives you advice, and he will tell you. He'll basically go that way and open the book and do this and do that, and you'll be good. So that's a really, really good game if people are looking for one. The modern game actually looks quite pretty. But
I was just going to say, what would you say, thinking of all the consoles, would be the best family console to play with your kids?
Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's Nintendo again, isn't it? Because you got the.
I was going to say the Wii, just because.
The Wii, but the problem with the Wii is that nowadays is that the controllers are so expensive.
Yeah.
But they're not expensive compared to Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, the Switch Pro controllers. They're cheaper than them, but you're second hand when they're £30-40. And sometimes you're spending 20, 30 pounds on them, and they say, "Don't know if it works." Oh, great! I mean, I bought one that was said, "I don't know if it works," and sure enough, what they actually meant was it don't work.
Yeah.
And it does, but it
That's right.
disconnects. It disconnects really easily. So so we can't play that. So yeah, if you're looking at £30 for one controller, it's 4 of you playing. It's 120 quid just for the controllers.
Yeah, but you could pay up bowling and just pass the controller around.
Yeah. You can't play tennis or
boxing. I'm just thinking for my daughter. I think for her it would be if there was a game that we, like myself and my partner, could get involved, because she just likes doing stuff with us at the moment. So
yeah,
if it's like a board game or a card game, if we play with her, she'll love it just because we're getting involved. So we're all playing, but that's what I'm thinking in terms of my personal.
Wii is the king. The Wii is the king in terms of family play. So especially if you've got young ones like yours. I've got the Wii set up in the living room, and what was it I played recently with my son? We played. It was. I got him to do Just Dance, but because only one of the controllers was working, only he was dancing. Because me dancing is something that nobody wants to see. But it was the Just Dance kids. Oh god! The music, the songs were awful. They're all those typical, the songs like that they
System of Down.
Yeah, and you have to dance to it.
Disturbed.
Like, I'm a gummy bear. Yes, I'm a gummy bear. You know the gummy bear song? No.
Yeah.
Slipknot.
Was it Slipknot on it?
Unfortunately, not. No. My boy is coming round to the whole liking rock and metal. I'm slowly sort of chipping away at the barriers.
Get Guitar Hero.
I did buy, because you can get Guitar Hero Live very cheap, mostly because it's crap. And so I actually sold that off because it was rubbish, and all the online services don't work. So Guitar Hero, as in proper Guitar Hero, not Guitar Hero Live, is really expensive.
Well, the Rock Band one and the Guitar Heroes, there are some versions of those that reach hundreds of pounds. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Because I had Guitar Hero Live for the Xbox, and that one, even though it's cheap, it still costs like £30-40 with a working guitar. And that's, is it wired? No, I think it's wireless. So but yeah, and it's only got a certain amount of songs on it because all the online stuff shut down long ago. And I did listen to the reviews of it saying it was rubbish, but rhythm action games are great for family, but your 6-year-olds are generally going to be rubbish at it. Then again, I'm rubbish at it. So
yeah, me too. I still like SingStar. To this day, I think it's a great party piece.
Well, we do have see, that's another one that's gone downhill with age. We've got now, that's what I call Sing 2, and what's the other one called? Anyway, another singing one, and I got it with a couple of microphones. The problem is, if you try and buy the modern ones, they're all subscription based, so you get about 10 songs, 15 songs, 20 songs, I don't know, something like that. And if you want any more, you can't buy them like you could with the old Let's Sing. You have to subscribe. And it can, I think one of the subscriptions is about £20 a month.
It's mental.
It's like, I pay less than that for 250 games or 400 games from Game Pass.
Yeah. Remember that thing called Buzz, the quiz game? That was always fun.
Good fun.
Yeah.
Although
I think I've still got that.
that was not great because I know a lot about movies, and all my friends just refused to play with me in the end because I just win every time. I was like, sorry, I just can't help it. You know, if somebody says something that I know the answer to, I can't help but get the right answer. And yeah, so no, I loved it, as well. But even with emulation, you can't play that anymore. You can only play it if you got the original hardware.
How much do you reckon Buzz is on CEX? I'm gonna have a look. Buzz.
20 quid.
Buzz.
So if it comes with the controller,
Probably
60
50
quid.
Buzz with 4 buzzers, £12.
Really?
What?
That surprises me.
Yeah.
That's a
But then
worthy
you've got
investment.
to have the original.
You'd have to have PS2.
Oh, it's PS2 version. Okay.
Or an early PS3.
I was going to say I had it on Xbox 360.
God, I'm trying to think how much would it be without £1 without the buzzers, £12 with the buzzers. You might as well just get the buzzers. Hard game to play with the buzzers.
I'm pretty sure I've got it in the loft somewhere.
Oh yeah, official wireless buzz controllers ×4 with receiver for Microsoft Xbox 360.
Yeah.
$12.99.
Oh.
Blimey,
PlayStation 3. Yeah, PlayStation 3 is £30. That's a bit more expensive the PS3, but
if you've got eBay, yeah, you can get it really cheap. But again, like I said, got to have it original hardware. The emulation. Well, I'm sure somebody probably could do an emulation for it, but it's for one game. There's not much point. And again, it's one that if you play against the kids aren't going to know. If this is a game that's 12 years old, 14 years old, kids aren't going to know half the movies that it talks about.
I'm surprised it's not had a HD re-release
or an update. Tell you what, if you want a good board game that's good for kids because it has separate questions for kids and adults, and you can put people's ages in. It's called Outsmarted, and it's a board game, but it's basically like Trivial Pursuit, but you have an app, and so it means you can play it remotely if you really want to. And yeah, you have an app, and it has loads of special offers with free extra quiz packs. So I think I bought the original board game probably a couple of years ago now, and I've probably had about 10 extra quiz packs for nothing, because they send you emails saying this weekend only you can get £5 worth of credit, and it's not like £5 of credit if you pay £10. It's £5 of credit, and some of the packs are only like 99p or £1.99. So yeah, Outsmarted, highly recommend it. Yeah, it's a great one. So I think we're back to gaming. We are. I think we're all in agreement, aren't we, that Nintendo is king?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have got the money, get your kids. Yeah, get your kids something retro or a Switch.
Yeah. If they're a bit older, they're probably going to know what they want, and it's probably going to be what their friends have. But they probably already have, I imagine. Parental
controls, though. You're both You're both people who will use parental controls, aren't you? I'll see you when yours get older, Martin.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess if they're gaming.
Yeah, it's the one thing that gets me really annoyed when I see in the news where people are moaning about Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, or EA or something because their kid has spent £1,000 on FIFA points.
Oh, it's just mental.
And
really
I'm
gets on my nerves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, kids will find a way, but quite often it'll be like, oh, well, I didn't know that they could buy this. And so, if you'd spent 20 minutes looking it up. This £500 console that you've given this £70 game that you bought for your kids, and actually researched it just for a few minutes, you would have found out there's parental controls, and you would have found out that they could buy things, or just ask advice of somebody who you know who plays games. I mean, I've had that a few times where people have gone, "Oh, I bought them for this. What do you think I should do?" The first thing I always say is get parental control set up. And people will be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to play on it." Doesn't matter. Especially with Xbox, most people have a Microsoft account already. If they use Windows with their work or something like that, just go on.
Let's face it. If you don't have parental controls, and if your kids are found to be buying stuff and talking to pedos on pedo blocks or whatever it's called, then you are a complete parenting donut.
Yeah,
it's that
at the
simple.
End of the day, it's a gateway to the world. So you wouldn't dump your kid in the middle of London and go, right, how about it? I'm going home. It's the same.
Well, it's just like letting your kids be on social media at an early age.
Yeah.
Kids under the age of, I'd say, 15 don't need to be on social media.
You'll get some people who will be like, yeah, my kid's fine. I trust my kid. Yeah, do you know what though? There are kids out there that are perfectly trustworthy and perfectly good kids who do something stupid and get conned or just decide that they don't understand because you haven't put in the parental controls and you haven't informed them about don't spend on microtransactions with this. And so it's not about trust. You don't have to sit there constantly watching what your kid's doing, but it takes a lot of that worry away if you have parental controls. Plus, as gamers ourselves, if you have parental controls, they have their own username. So they have their own saves. So you don't have to worry about them saving over your game. That's another one that really annoys me when you get people who are like, oh, my kid messed up my save or, got me killed or did this or I'm like, well, what are you doing letting them play on your username? So, yeah, if you're going to buy for your kids, number one, get the console out and connect it to the internet because there's nothing worse than day one. I'm just sitting there for half an hour while your thing updates and then your game installs and then you have to wait for the updates for the game. Just do that. As soon as they go to school, plug it in, turn it on, let it up, connect it to the internet, let it update, and then it saves a lot of bother on Christmas Day. Although you'll probably still get an update, it just won't be as big. Make them their own username, even if they're 6. My son has got his own email. He doesn't know what that email is, and he has no access to that email. But you have to have an email for a username. So just with Xbox, I presume PlayStation probably has something similar. It literally lets you set up an email address when you set up the account. So I just set up the email address, and then it says, do you want a backup email? And I have that as my email address. So I have because my nephew and niece needed an account as well. So I have about 7 or 8 attached to my one email address. So if any of them do anything, it comes straight to my email. It's so easy
Makes
to
sense.
do. So easy to do. Now, also, Google, going on about parental controls. Google, they do start emailing you eventually when you do parental controls on Family Link, saying, "Oh, they get to this age, we're not going to let you control their or see their location or do this or whatever because they're going to be turning 13." So as soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh, I guess he was born a year later than I thought." Then, so he now has. Although he's 14, Google still thinks that my stepson is 12.
The issue I have is that my kids have gone on to iPhones. They were on Android. They're now on iPhones, whereas I'm on Android. Now, Family Link is really difficult to set up on iPhones versus Android, especially when the lead device is an Android phone, which leaves me in the lurch with a decent family control app that has decent tracking and monitoring on it. So without having to pay.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Family Link, what's great about it is it's free.
Yeah.
Because there's been lots of suggestions on the Gaming Dads. People saying, "Oh, what do people use for monitoring their kids?" And this is where you'll get the people coming out. Well, I trust my kids. Good for you. I didn't ask that. I asked how I can monitor my kids. Thanks. But there are generally there. I don't think they're that expensive, to be honest. Most of them are, 20, 30 quid a year kind of thing. Although nowadays they probably make it more monthly, so it'll be £7, £8 a month.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have iPhones myself in my house, so can't really help you there. If anyone does have any advice for Tom, let us know.
Yeah, drop a shout on the Facebook page. The one thing I will always say to people is, if you have a baby, and this is going to sound really crazy, but register their email address. When they're a baby, register the email address so you get their name, you get their email address, first name, surname, or whatever it is, because then all the stuff that you're signing up for them, shove it in their email address so that you don't have to have it in your email address.
And also don't call it something stupid, because that kid and you have got to put that email address in places. Oh, what is your kid's email? Somebody's, the school or something. What is your kid's email address? So we could just send it. Oh, it's stinkybumpoopypants@gmail.com. Is it really? Okay. Yeah. Apparently our filter won't let me type that. Okay, then. He does have a second one. Big bum smelly balls. So that one's fine. So just give it something sensible. Obviously, I won't give away my 6-year-old's username, but he has the same email address as his gamer tag, and he loves it. I made it up without his permission, without asking what he wanted, because when I made it, he was about 3, and he would have said, "I want to be Stinky Bum Poopy Pants," or I want to be Daddy is a smelly bum, kind of thing. Because my stepson, I won't say it out online, but he picked one when I first met him when he was 7, and let's just say he's got an extra Gmail now because he's too embarrassed to give out his old one. Well, but he still has to use that because that's what's on the family account.
I can think of a reason for my 6-year-old to have an email account.
Mine only has it because of the Xbox username. He doesn't actually have access to it at all. Oh no! My stepson very much. We wouldn't let him have anything until he was 13, and even then, I blocked a few things.
I definitely learned about the email myself. I remember when I went to uni, they were like, "Oh, one of our tips is because you're now going to be thinking about, sending off your CVs and applying for roles, make sure you got a professional sounding email address." And mine was like homeboy@hotmail or something like that. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to change that."
That was exactly what my stepson had. He had it had legit boy in it. Like,
Homeboy69X or something like that. I was going to be getting like internships or getting on to.
I used to have a friend who on Xbox, whenever we were playing online and somebody had the X's at the beginning and end of their thing, we'd be like, say it was like X_Tom_X. We'd be like, "Oh, hello, mwah, Tom, mwah." And just be like, "It's just X." But
I like it when you get people.
Isn't that kiss? Okay then, kiss, Tom, kiss.
I like the ones that have had like Hotmail email addresses for their whole life, and it's like sexyflaps@hotmail.com or sexyflaps69@hotmail.com, and you think you've had that long time, haven't you?
Nice.
And they're like, yeah.
They were using their MSN back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, those are good
Updating
days.
their bio.
MSN Messenger and ICQ.
Oh,
Well, the ICQ was just a number, but I am not a number.
an AOL Messenger.
I used to.
Yes. Oh, AOL Mess.
I used to
Didn't
love
Netscape have a
MSN.
Messenger as well?
Was Netscape Navigator, wasn't there? Was the browser?
Yeah, it had some kind of
I think it had a messenger within Netscape Navigator. I think.
Yeah, but those are good days.
I did used to.
I don't know. Looking back at it, there was quite obviously paedophiles everywhere.
Probably.
Hang on, Net.
But they were like
Messenger.
they were it was still. I was going to say that they were fun, but pedophile.
Netscape Communicator.
That was it. Yeah, I'd quite like to see MSN Messenger come back.
Yeah, I loved MSN. I used to.
Yeah.
I remember finishing with my first job, and I would like rush home to get on MSN to see who was online.
Was that in dial-up days?
The latest girl that I liked would be in my bio with a heart, and then she would tell me to take it off, so I put a different girl name in there.
I had
Or
I
put
had
lyrics.
Millennium PC, and that had MSN Messenger, and then I got the Microsoft SPV phone, and the first thing I wanted to use was MSN Messenger on it, and it was outstanding. Sitting on the train in Chafford 100, waiting for GPRS to catch up, so I catch the message and I could resend a reply. I mean, you were talking 3 or 4 minutes just to send a reply, but it was so great. You know?
I mean, nowadays, obviously, it's the TikToks, isn't it? And being on the TikTok.
Snapchat.
Oh, Snapchat and all the filters. So it's basically the same as MSN Messenger, just public, because that's what kids do nowadays. It's like, I'm going to talk to this person in public and say stupid things in public.
Well, according to my son, his friends only talk on Snapchat, and as I won't let him have Snapchat, he's going to lose all his friends. So he's going to be very lonely.
I tried Snapchat probably about a
week ago.
8 years ago, 9 years ago.
What are you using Snapchat for?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Somebody said go on it. Hang on, I haven't seen.
You're using those filters, weren't you?
Duncan, you should not be using Snapchat, right? Because if you put your profile picture on there, someone's going to look at it and think, "Hang on a minute."
Pedo glasses. Yeah, so when I went on it, and I remember the friend who said go on it went, "Oh, there you are," and I went, "Oh, you found me online." They went, "No, literally, there you are on my map." I went, "Beg your pardon."
Yeah, my partner has it.
Well,
and she shows it, and it shows you where people are.
Without me changing anything, she said, "Well, I can see where you are on the map, and look, we're near each other."
Parents would be showing their kids, be like, "Stay away from that house."
Yeah. Well, I was like, hang on a minute. I didn't give permission for it to share. Obviously, you do. It's in the EULA and all this. But there wasn't any big glaring thing that said, do you want to share your location on a public map? No, I don't want to share my location.
How long did you have Snapchat for then?
About 30 seconds after that, I literally went, no, thanks. Delete. And I was like, no, I'm not having that. Because when things do,
the only one I've got is Facebook. That's the only one I've got. I don't have Instagram or I did have Bebo, but that unfortunately got closed.
Oh yeah, I had MySpace. I put sparkly things all over my profile, and I had Tom as a friend. Not you, Tom, the other Tom.
Yeah.
Tom, who was actually a real person. Who knew?
Yeah.
He was creator of MySpace. I think he works for Facebook now, doesn't he?
I can't remember. He's probably off backpacking with his millions or something. Probably going, I've got friends all around the world. Yeah.
Was it Friendster back in the day? Do you remember Friendster?
And Friends Reunited. Friends Reunited was the first one.
Yeah,
you just had to type in your school and what year you left, and it came up with a list of people. There you go. Yeah. And you'd message somebody and they'd go, oh, I don't remember you. I think your attitude says yes, you do remember me. But no, I didn't particularly want to join up with people I went to school with. So, yeah. Facebook was the first one I properly used because it meant I could join up with family.
Are you on TikTok? Either of you?
I tried it and was like, why do I need this when I've got this in? I've got Reels and all this kind of thing in Facebook and Instagram. So I've never seen the point in Instagram because Instagram is just Facebook without the writing. So what's the point in it? No, see, silence. No, you two don't know the point of it either.
I've got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and I don't really like any of them anymore. So
I mean, I have family in obviously different parts of this country. I have family in the States. I have family in Australia. So it's helpful for me. But yeah, no, I don't. I'm not on Instagram enough to warrant saying find me on Instagram. And yeah, anything else, TikTok and everything. I think I have a TikTok account. I don't know if I might have deleted it. I don't know. But yeah, I have no interest in going on TikTok. And people are like, yeah. Because I'm learning to be, I'm changing career. I may have to have a TikTok soon, which is rather unfortunate to advertise. But
you'll be doing all the latest dance phases.
Yeah,
well, hopefully not while driving a car.
Get yourself a website on the go, and
Oh, I could do a website, no problem. Yeah.
Get your gear stick on the website,
Well, yeah, I don't. Nobody wants to see something that small.
Depends what car you're buying.
Well, I'm probably going to go automatic, to be honest.
Oh, you don't even have a gear stick.
Exactly. I'll be a eunuch.
And if you take your Stadia controller in the car with a tablet, when you're not there and you're waiting for your next lesson, you can play some gaming.
I could indeed sit in the McDonald's car park, using their Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
No, I doubt I'll be doing that. I've got my phone, play mobile games, and that's basically all I'll do.
Have you got any ideas? What I know, obviously, it won't be for a while until the plan is that you go and do your own business. You got any ideas what you would call it at the moment?
Duncan's joystick.
Duncan plays with his joystick. Oh, I mean, we could call that a new name for the podcast. 3 dads play with their joysticks.
I wish that could be.
I think we don't want to be changing the name again, though, do we? So back to getting away from my joystick. Any more advice for expectant parents or gaming parents?
Depending on age, if they're young, I think Nintendo. I think we all agree on that. Something where
possibly
you could play
retro.
Or take them to the park.
Take to the park with a retro.
Be a real
handheld.
parent. Yeah, be a real parent.
You can game and be a real parent, Tom. Don't be one of them.
Don't want to be one of those people on Facebook where, like, back in my day, we used to with the bikes, a picture of the bikes or something, and they're like, back in my day, I did go on bikes, but I also played PlayStation like all day with my friends as well. So I think
back in my day, we played the Amstrad, but we could go out, play the whole day, come back, and still wait for the cassette to be loading. So.
Exactly. You had at least 5 minutes between starting to load and
you do a lot in 5 minutes, couldn't you?
And the 15 syntax errors before you actually got the game loading. Yeah.
Yes, you'd have to come in and out about 5 times. But yeah, I think if you've got small, like you said, if you've got small children, don't worry about graphics. Don't worry about frames per second. Don't worry about ray tracing. Don't worry about getting the latest thing.
Yeah, and it depends on the child. If you can find a game where all of the family can get involved.
The really little ones that they love playing with, and you just go, right, you do a bit, Get a broken controller for for a 3-year-old. I know my 3-year-old wanted to play, so I had a broken controller. Gave him a broken controller. He sat there, thought that he was brilliant at these games. Obviously, when he actually worked it out, he wasn't so good. But yeah, get a broken controller and let them think that they're playing.
Speaking
But
of
as
not
they
so
get
good,
older, I think if 7 to 10-year-olds,
PlayStation 4.
yeah. If you've got a previous gen console, pick one of them up. Get some games on dirt cheap. And when they get older, in fact, again, your second-hand stuff. If you've got a PC and you want to upgrade, don't upgrade. Pass it on to your teenager, and then it gives you an excuse to get it the brand new PC. Or I'm going to get myself a PlayStation Pro because I'm going to give my PlayStation 5 to my kids. And if you've got the money, great. Get a PlayStation 5 Pro for each of your kids. But, just don't worry about the latest sparkly stuff. Just enjoy gaming with your kids and take them to the park as well, just to make Tom happy.
Good old-fashioned parenting.
Oh. Anyway, speaking of not being good at things, I just wanted to say, Duncan, I really enjoyed beating you at Mario Kart the other day.
Yeah, you did. I never professed to be good. It was just easy to take the piss out of you because I beat you one time. No, I'm not very good at Mario Kart. I must have played.
You weren't saying that before Tom beat you. You were giving it all the big end.
You were giving it all the big end.
I was giving it the big end because he was he was finding it really hard, the fact that I beat him.
Was it close though?
No.
Oh no. I mean, I gradually got worse because obviously the levels get harder, sort of thing. And I was beating him on the first level, but then he shelled me right at the end, cheating little bastard. But no, after that, I just went into the mode that was expected of me because I'm not very good at Mario Kart. And I was going 2nd, 4th, 6th, that kind of thing.
Lapped at one point by me. Yeah, I remember that one. Yep.
To be fair, I'm not very good at Mario Kart, so I wouldn't want to.
And also, his other half said, he doesn't want to play you on the 3D ones because he's not as good as those.
Hey,
so
dude,
I think next time we'll go on to Mario Kart 8.
It's fine. We can get out Double Dash. We can get out Mario Kart 8, or whatever you want. You're gonna lose.
Maybe
it's fine.
Again, I've only played them.
Would you do you let your children win in games?
No,
never.
No. He learned very early that Daddy does not allow that. Absolutely.
The other day, my 14-year-old, who's a boxer and weight trains and stuff like that, made it clear that he beat me in an arm wrestle. He didn't at all, and I deliberately held him there for so long that his arm was literally really painful. And I said, "You won't ever try again." He said, "I'll beat you one day." I said, "You won't."
Is this left-handed or right-handed?
Either.
Because that's always my excuse with people, but I normally still beat them because I'm left-handed. And obviously people are like, "Oh, but I can't do it left-handed." It's like, "Oh, right, I'll do it right-handed."
I mean, we need an arm wrestling competition as well now. All right then.
Have you got some kind of locking thing on your right arm that means that it doesn't move?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your left arm?
I don't lose on that either. Come on, it's the only hand I use. It's really strong.
Well,
my grip is sensational.
Unfair advantage.
I mean, I'm left-handed, but obviously there are certain things I do with my right hand.
You don't want to.
I don't do those things
golf.
with my right hand.
It's golf. I play golf right-handed.
Thank God. Got it with golf.
I'm actually ambidextrous with golf. I can play golf left or right-handed.
I'd love to be able to play golf.
Yeah. Well, you can play one-handed.
No.
it's just hold
I'm
it.
quite good at tennis, but no, nothing else.
You'd be able to play. You'd be able to play. I would just clarify, obviously, with people that don't know, Tom is less handy with your right hand, aren't you? I said you're less handy with your right hand.
Yeah, I'm actually right-handed, but I don't have one.
Yeah,
and
hence
although I'm
why.
right-handed.
So
Yeah,
you have to do things with your left hand.
I do.
And sort of force. I wonder if it's sort of trained your brain or changed your brain makeup in any way.
I kick with my right foot, but I do everything with my left. But I'm naturally right-handed, so I don't know if that's right or not.
Oof.
I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I'm left-handed and I kick with. I can't kick with my right foot. I'm useless. Yeah, so
it must be
that
right.
would make that would make sense that you're right-handed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we digress completely.
Yeah, we got off. We were sort of gaming.
We do that every
I'm going to
episode,
beat you on a
don't we?
3D Mario Kart.
Yeah, game on. I'm getting that out of the
loft. Any other gaming news that you've been seeing over the last week or so?
Been playing a lot of PlayStation Vita.
Ah, yes, because I helped you find some games, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
So what games
legal.
did you discover?
God, I've been playing because I can't remember. I'm actually getting up to find out. I've played quite a lot. I tried some of the mini games. There's a Terminator mini game that I tried, which was quite interesting. I tried Batman on the Vita.
Fantastic looking game, isn't it? That.
Yeah, but it was a great looking game, but it was rubbish.
It's a simple beat 'em up, really, isn't it?
Sin Mora, been playing that.
That's a fantastic shoot 'em up.
Really good shoot 'em up. And then on the original PlayStation, I downloaded a few games. So I downloaded Dragon's Lair, which obviously is the Laserdisc game.
And also terrible game.
Terrible game. Great to look at, though.
Yeah.
And I downloaded, I'm just looking now, I downloaded the Sega Collection, the Midway Collection, Crazy Taxi Fair Wars, Magical Lord, the Neo Geo game, the original Wipeout, Crash Bandicoot, Destruction Derby. So yeah, been playing a fair bit.
Well, I've been trying to play Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but I don't know if you've heard it's a fantastic game, I can imagine, if you could actually load it up, but apparently nobody can play it at the moment. Well, a lot of people can't play it because the servers are massively overloaded. I think millions of people are trying to play it, and apparently they tested it with 200,000. So, yeah. So, haven't been able to get anywhere near playing yet. Stalker 2 has come out on Game Pass. I think it's the From Software of first-person shooters.
Oh yeah, I played it yesterday, and usually I play gaming like on medium level. I had to put it on rookie, and I was still
I put it on rookie, and I died a few. In fact, I died in the tutorial area because it said about picking things up, and I was picking things up off a body, and some electrical thing just killed me.
Yeah, because you got like scan, don't you? And it took me a while because I was like, I can't go in there because it's like radiation, and I was like, well, in the end, I just was like, I'm gonna have to, and then I found what I needed to find.
Yeah, some slug or something, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that took me ages, and I had to do settings in the end to make it lighter because I just could not see anything. It was so dark. So I adjusted but
I didn't get any bugs. Did you encounter any bugs?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Bugs, but I had it where I don't know if there's an easier way to switch your weapon, because usually in games when you go on the menu and you inventory, it like stops the actual game. When I was trying to change your weapon, it was just continue, and I was like, I can't change my weapon.
I mean, you can't just press Y on Xbox.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but I think it only changes between two of them, or the last two.
I had a pistol, and I was like, I need a machine gun here.
Yeah, so if you hold down left bumper, there's it you get a machine gun pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game, and it's all very bleak. So yeah, it's probably not one that I'll play. But people who are playing it that I've heard are loving it, and it's reviewing pretty well. It's reviewing in the high 70s.
I think I've just done the tutorial bit. I've just gone to this bit where I've been given a bolt. Have you got that bit yet?
Yeah, I've got it in some lab thing where everybody's dead, and I got out of there, and some things were killing me because they were going invisible. I'm like, I can't. How am I meant? I can't see them.
The game doesn't tell you stuff, does it? So I was getting, and I was like, am I just not seeing this thing?
No, you're not. You're literally not seeing them because they're invisible.
Just run, and then in the end, but yeah, that's a couple of things I died because of. With the electric as well, I didn't know. Like I was like, "What am I meant to do with that? Am I meant to shoot it?" And so I started shooting it, and nothing was happening. And I was like, "Okay."
No, it was just like trying to get past it in the time, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that did kill me. That electric. And that was right at the beginning of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an intriguing game. I think if you like the sort of From Software games, it's not as tough as that, I don't think. No. But you fancy shooting something instead, then. Probably the game for you.
It's a survival game, so you've got to get food and stuff, don't you? So and you do get hungry.
It said have a bite because you won't be able to. Yeah, you won't be able to aim properly or something like that. But really? So yeah, probably not something that I'm going to play much of. But
I'll play it. And then Indiana Jones is out in a couple of weeks. So
oh yes, that I'm very much looking forward to because that's previews have said it's good. It's by the people who made Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein games as well. So yeah, quite looking forward to that. That's about it, I think. Yeah. Right, well, there you are. Another episode done. Blimey, we have been chatting for a long time. So, like and subscribe. Go to focusongaming.co.uk and yeah.
Check out our Facebook.
Check out our Facebook and leave a review. Send us any questions or whatever. And we'll see you next episode, episode 71. On that note, bye.
Till next week.